Welcome to the Neighborhood Ford Store Steelers Extra Point.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome inside the KDKA studios for this Extra Point in what was a crazy game today at Acrisure Stadium. Welcome inside, Bob Pompeani, along with Chris Hoke. We've seen so many of these games, Chris. Could never figure out how they're going to go. And this one, certainly in the same situation. The Steelers managed 3 points of offense in the first 3 quarters. That was it. A lot of chants out there, all people really unhappy with what was going on, and suddenly it changed. The defense certainly led the way. But, man, when you look at this objectively, Chris, Baltimore really hurt themselves today. They had 7 drops, 2 of them for legitimate touchdowns. They passed up 3 points at halftime. I thought the Ravens did a lot to help the Steelers stay in this game, and the Steelers took advantage of generosity and said, thank you very much, we will take it, and now the Steelers are in first place.
I don't know what the storyline is. Was the Steelers won this game or the Ravens lost this game?
Both.
But the reality is the Steelers won this game, and it was led by, I'll tell you, Bob, when we got into that fourth quarter and Gunnar Olszewski, he fumbled that ball, I thought, here we go. The Steelers had their opportunity to come and win this game, and then what happens? Joey Porter Jr. with a huge takeaway, and just led from that moment on, the Steelers just had this big tidal wave and momentum in the direction. The Steelers dominated the last couple minutes, but it was that big play there that turned the tide for the Steelers in this game.
There's no question. The defense, not that effective in the first half of this game, quite frankly. There were drops. It helped their situation right before halftime. Again, I wondered about John Harbaugh, the call he was trying to make on a 4th down and 2. He went for it instead of kicking what would have been a sure 3 points. Those 3 points really loomed large as the game went on.
They showed a close-up on him with the camera. He was holding his hat. He could not believe what happened. So I don't know if it was an accidental snap. I don't know if he thought, what are they doing? It reminded me last week of a Steelers play 4th and 1, and Steeler Nation was going crazy when they went shotgun with the sidecar, and they threw the ball. 4th and 1 there, kick the ball, or at least line up and run the ball like they had been, because they were pounding the Steelers in the first half with the run game. What just a scratching your head type of play.
But it's amazing the turn of events in the second half. And again, the defense led the way. JPJ, Joey Porter Jr. was not in there early. I thought the Steeler corners were getting burnt a lot. And again, the drops helped them. He gets into the game on a critical play in the end zone, makes an interception. The Steelers turn right around and drive down the field. Some of the best plays, especially the one to George Pickens, who had 6 catches for 130 yards. That was a significant one, 41 yards. He beats Marlon Humphrey, who just came back from an injury, in coverage, and it was good to see that they took advantage of it, because at the time when that Gunnar Olszewski fumble occurred, as you said, it looked like that was it. The Steelers are never going to have enough offense to get back in this game, but they went right down the field. There was a big 3rd and 4 from Pickett to Pickens, and then the 41-yarder, and that was that. Until the end of the game, when you saw a penalty that could have been costly. It gave the Ravens a whole bunch of time that they thought they would never have.
It really could have. And how many times in the NFL have you seen that come back to bite a team, right? Chuk was on the line. There was not a receiver or tight end outside of him up on the line to close that out. And so the clock had stopped there, just like Gene Steratore said, and the clock did not start rolling again. That was about 37 seconds. So really, Steeler Nation, Bob and I were sitting there holding our breath saying, man, that gives the Ravens more life. Luckily, the Steelers came up with a big stop there. Big sack to cap it off.
And Highsmith and Watt, who were silent last week against the Houston Texans, mostly, I think, because of the good job that Houston did scheming against them today. They were pretty active when they had to be. And I'll tell you, T.J. Watt took advantage. There was a 3rd-string right tackle in there, Daniel Faalele, or however you say his name. I'm not sure. Can you correct me on that one?
I think it's Faalele.
Faalele. Okay, but he was going down and under him all the time, and it seemed like he was not in a position to really handle T.J. Watt, and Watt took full advantage of that with 2 critical plays. All right, we're going to take a break. We have Mike Tomlin's press conference coming up. We have player interviews a little later. We'll open it up for you to call us on a special Steelers edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. But this is your Neighborhood Ford Store Extra Point, as the Steelers get 14 points and a weird collection of points in the fourth quarter to win 17-10. They're now 3-2, tied for first, but actually in first because they own the tiebreaker against Baltimore. We'll be back with more coverage right here on KDKA+.
Welcome back to the Neighborhood Ford Store Steelers Extra Point.
All right, we're back. Bob Pompeani and Chris Hoke with you. It was a beautiful fall day for football, and the Steelers delivered a 17-10 win, although at halftime it didn't seem like that would be possible. When you looked at the overall stats at halftime, it was total domination for Baltimore. The Steelers, again, first quarter couldn't do much at all. Total yards, 244 to 88 in favor of Buffalo. Rushing yards, just 36 in the first half of the Steelers, and they only had 6 first downs. In normal NFL kind of games, you're never going to win a game like that. But again, they did not capitalize. Baltimore had 2 drop touchdown passes. And Chris, when you looked at that first half, you're probably saying to yourself, here we go again. And how do you change this offensive scheme? And Kenny Pickett did not look confident at all, I thought, for the first 3 quarters.
No, he didn't. All he had to do was sit in there and be decisive. When he struggles, it's when he gets in that pocket and he panics, he gets the ball out quick, or he rolls out, takes away half the field. And so just like Phil Simms said at halftime, Bob, I mean, he's got to calm down, stay in the pocket, not escape too quick. And you're still seeing that. Even though he threw some nice throws there late in the game, he's got to continue to grow and slow down, let the game come to him, because when he's in the pocket and he steps into his throw and drives it, he hits those 41-yard passes, those 21-yard passes, and those kind of things. But he's got to continue to improve and take this bye week to really catch a deep breath and move forward.
All right, let me give you a pet peeve of mine that I don't like to see, and I see it a lot. It's that designed rollout left play, where you limit the field totally, and it's only half the field. They call that quite a bit. What's the whole purpose of that design play?
I think he feels more comfortable when he's rolling out. That's when he feels that he's at his best. But to me, when he makes those plays that move the chains, it's when he stands in the pocket, he steps up and drives the ball. Too many times we're seeing him roll out, take away half the field, or what we're doing is see him get the ball and really not letting anything develop down the field, and he's dumping it off to his running back. He's got to be able to sit in the pocket, trust the protection, and drive the ball. When he does that, he has success. And I believe that is something that they will see on the film over the bye week and be better in the second half of the season.
All right, Coach Tomlin is at the podium.
Man,
Let's
just
go
really
inside right now.
appreciative of the effort of the men, particularly the new guys, whether it's the new veterans that are new to us or the rookies. This is their first exposure to this series, this matchup. I mean, you really got to kind of be a part of it to understand it and appreciate it and be ready to deliver what is required in terms of effort, in terms of fight, attention to detail, et cetera. And so those guys are the new Steelers. I just really appreciate. Obviously, man, it was Steelers-Ravens the way that it usually is, in that it is a hotly contested game. In recent years, it's been controlled by the defenses. It was today. But can't say enough about that significant play by Miles Killebrew. Man, you block a kick in the National Football League, man, you usually win football games. And so obviously that is a significant contribution. Just appreciative of the effort. It's good to go into the bye, man, sitting the top of the North, particularly with all that we've been through. Still very much a group in growth and development. There's a lot out there, obviously, that we didn't like, but that's life in this business as well. Our job is to win, and we got the business done today. TJ has got a finger that's being looked at as we speak. Calvin Austin got evaluated for concussion but got cleared and was able to return. Larry Ogunjobi got shaken up in some way, but don't have a lot of information about it. We'll have more information the next time we get together.
Mike, the concussion possible for Calvin, was that any reason why he wasn't back on punts? That started.
That's exactly why he wasn't back there.
Mike, were you guys going for the home run coming out of the huddle at the end of the game, or did it just develop?
It just developed. You know, we knew that they had an appetite for zero coverage in those weighty moments. It presented itself to us, but I don't know that was our intentions.
Is the coverage today what led to Kenny and George being able to connect so many times?
You know, George had to have a big game. These type of games, hotly contested, a lot of one-on-one matchups. We talked about it throughout the week, man. Oftentimes it comes down to one-on-one playmaking, particularly on the perimeter. In the end, when things get a little bit tight, and so it was important that we stay engaged for 60 minutes and deliver those timely plays at the end, which he did.
Why'd you go to Porter when you did? And it looked like initially he replaced Levi, and then he replaced Peterson, and is Pat Pete a sub-package guy now?
Porter's been playing increasingly more with each passing week. I've been really transparent about the inclusion of all the rookies, and oftentimes We start with a good foundational plan in terms of how they participate, and we grow from there. He's done a solid job with the work given, and so today he got more. He did a nice job with the work he was given today.
No turnovers for Kenny. Even when things were frustrating, he didn't get out of himself and make a bad play. Is that kind of what leads him to be able to be in a position to win the game late?
I really think that that's kind of been the difference in these games of late. We've done a good job of taking care of the ball, and we've done a good job of getting the ball. All the games have been difficult. The defenses, again, have controlled them in the recent history of the series. But within those games, we've taken care of it, and they have it, and that's probably why we're having success.
Were you able to open up things a little bit for the running game by some of the early catches that George made in the second half?
You know, we had a commitment to running and throwing it, and stayed committed to those things throughout. And so whether one fed the other or vice versa depends on perspective.
Block on with Killebrew, or did he just make a play?
Yes. We had a block on, and he delivered, man. This guy has blocked a lot of kicks in recent years, man. He's got to be tops in the National Football League in that regard. It's been special to be a part of it.
Mike, when you said it's good to be atop the division after all you've been through so far, particularly injuries, spotty play?
Loss of significant players and managing some of that. You know, Baltimore had a full complement of players today. We had some significant guys inactive, and so I just appreciate the fight.
Based on Jalen Warren's performance today, you could foresee him having maybe an expanded role as you go on?
I'm open to all of these guys that play well getting more opportunities, but playing well creates more opportunities for all parties involved.
Mike, what do you attribute the slow start on defense to?
I don't know if it was slow. You know, they got touchdown and a field goal in the first half.
Mike, what is it about this team that allowed them to keep fighting through some of that stuff you didn't like?
They made a commitment throughout the week, the prep, the things that we talked about leading up to the week that we had to do better in preparation. I felt that. I felt an earnest effort in that regard, and there's football justice.
Coach, your thoughts on how your tight ends played in Freiermuth's absence?
You know, I thought everybody played with heart and fight, but it was required. You know, can't say enough about those guys. Rodney Williams getting an opportunity to elevate and play, and almost getting a touchdown there on the punt block group. Rodney's a guy that's been practicing really hard and well, and I think all the guys were really excited for him in terms of him getting an opportunity.
What happened with that offensive sequence with about a minute left when you guys were in victory formation and then ended up having to kick the field goal?
It got messy. We downed offensive linemen and the extras and the reporting as eligible and some of that stuff. I absorb responsibility for any messiness there.
Like, what did you tell the new Steelers you referenced to get ready for this?
You know, some of those guys have been in significant matchups before, so if you went to Alabama or Auburn, I say it's like the Iron Bowl. You know, if you went to Bemidji State, I said it's like Bemidji Mankato. You know what I mean? You're just trying to capture the essence of it for the guys. And most of the guys that went to universities have been a part of some significant rivalries and so forth. And so that's a frame of reference. But make no mistake about it, you got to be a part of it to understand it. And I guarantee you those guys got a better understanding as we sit here today than maybe they did at the front part of the week.
Did you have to look up Bemidji's rival, or did you know that already?
Well, you know, I work for the Vikings, man. I've been out in that part of the world.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yep.
All right, a little bit of a smile there, and why not? The Steelers come back and win a game, and yes, I'll tell you that the Ravens had a hand in it because I thought they messed up so many opportunities they had. They could have put this game away early. They allowed the Steelers to be in it, and the Steelers took full advantage. But one of the key plays was the block punt by Miles Killebrew. The guy has a knack for doing this, and it came at a time when they really needed something to jolt them around a little bit. He got it. Rodney Williams also made a really nice lunging effort, almost had an opportunity to recover that for a touchdown, just missed. They had a look at it at replay. All things are reviewed when it's a scoring play. But it was a safety. That safety led to a 3-point game field goal after that, so all of a sudden things changed because of it.
There's no question. It was 10-3, and nothing was going in the Steelers' favor. They could get no momentum going, and that started to turn the tide. 2 points there. They punt the ball. They get it at their minus 47, at the Steelers' 47-yard line, drive down the field to kick a field goal. Right there now, where they're really close, within a score of taking the lead and winning this game, and then the momentum just went in their favor.
All right, you're going to hear from Killebrew a little bit later. Right now, it's T.J. Watt at the microphone.
Question, leader of the defense. Is there anything you did in particular this week in preparation with the guys, whether it was motivation or just whether you guys studied together? Did you do anything different?
No, I mean, a lot of highs, a lot of lows. You need to stay constant to a degree. I mean, we're not going to change everything that we do. I think Coach Tomlin does a good job of getting us prepared and getting us ready each week. I think he did a great job this week of letting the guys that haven't been here know the importance of this rivalry, because at the end of the day, we have to know there's a lot of new faces in the locker room. And we really hit that point home, and you could feel it when we were out there playing today.
What is it that allows you guys to hang in there when it's not really going your way? It appears to be kind of one-sided in the first half, but you just hang in there the whole time.
We're just doing our job. We're not paid to do anything other than go out there and make as many plays as possible and try to deliver the ball to the offense if we can, otherwise hold them to field goals. But don't have time to worry about all the other things.
TJ, the significance of that Killebrew block and the energy that it brought to your group, what's that?
Not surprised. The guy works his tail off. He's out there every day in the beginning of practice, pre-practice, working on his craft. And Coach Tomlin always says 1 block a year makes you great. And I mean, he has a whole bunch of them at this point in his career. And it's awesome to see a guy that you know the other team is scheming for make plays like that. And but like I said, I'm not surprised by his work ethic and being able to have that opportunity to make that play and then making it when he had it. And then obviously it just created a spark, and Steeler Nation came alive again for us, and it was huge. We absolutely needed them in the end, and like always, they delivered.
TJ, what changed in the second half that allowed you guys defensively to shut them down and eventually get the splash that you got?
I think we just settled in, really. I mean, I think we were gang tackling. We were able to make some big plays defensively, able to get after the quarterback, make him uncomfortable a little bit. I thought the coaches made some nice adjustments, and at the end of the day, it's all about execution.
Considering how you got here, does first place at this point feel pretty good, and good time for the bye week to get some guys back?
Yeah, good time for the bye week. I mean, the first place doesn't mean anything right now. We're still super early. Need to get some guys back. Need to just take some time, let the body rest a little bit, and look at the film.
After a week of talking about it, how different, if at all, did that Baltimore offense look and feel to you guys when you were playing against it?
I mean, it's always a tough physical game. I'm going to have to go back, look at the film, and really digest it like we were just talking. It's so hard to – I mean, you're just play in, play out. It's hard to have, like, a zoomed-out, like, perspective on the game until you watch the film.
Did you guys take a little boost from that 4th down stop in the second quarter in the locker room?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're feeding off each other. I mean, we really are, and it doesn't matter who's humming offense, defense, special teams. We just need to feed off each other, and I feel like we did a good job of that today.
Surprised they didn't kick it there?
I don't know.
Anything else?
Yep.
All right, T.J. Watt getting things done. Certainly late in the game, it seems like when those two guys need to make plays generally, they make plays. And you can see the sack totals there, 2 for Watt. Again, he took advantage of that right tackle who couldn't keep up with him. Those guys are going to learn, man. You need to double team him most of the time. 1 sack for Highsmith. It was a strip fumble, and it led to a recovery by Watt. So those guys did what they had to do.
They did, and it's really a comfort for a defense and a team when you got guys like Alex Highsmith and T.J. Watt on the edges, and you know when a big play needs to be made, you got 2 guys out there that can make them. T.J. Watt has done that play in and play out year in and year out, and this is the kind of the teammate he is and the kind of energy he brings to this team. And what a huge play that he made. Alex Highsmith sacked, T.J. Watt picks it up, and just really that if they with them doing those kind of things, Bob, if they can do that week in and week out, they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, but you got to give the defense a rest once in a while. The offense needs to do something beyond struggle until the defense
Well, that's
makes
the thing,
a play.
though. If they do that every single week, you can't expect the defense to go out there and play that kind of second half.
They didn't.
Yeah, I mean, they can't do that every single week, and unfortunately, they won't. But when they play like they played in the second half, they're tough to beat. But the offense has to get going in the second half of the season.
All right, we have much more to cover with you. We'll do it. We go back in the locker room. Rich Walsh is there for us. We'll have interviews with some of the key components of this game. Also, We will take your phone calls coming up in a special Steelers edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Steelers come back and win 17-10. Low-scoring game. I told you the under was the best bet, 38 points. Nobody was going to get there today. They never do. We'll be back with more right here on KDKA+.
Welcome back to the Neighborhood Ford Store Steelers Extra Point.
All right, we are back with final stats brought to you by JP Roofing. And this is a complete change compared to what it was in the first half. The Steelers really loaded up some numbers, but again, the Ravens allowed them to do that in many ways here. But the rushing yards still Baltimore, and that's been a concern, I think, for the Steelers. They haven't been able to totally shut down other teams' run game.
There's no question, but you look at this, it was completely lopsided in the Ravens' favor at halftime, and then it was completely lopsided in the second half. That's why you get pretty an even stat line here. What stands out to me is the Ravens dominated the running game. They dominated time of possession in the first half. They only had 25 yards rushing in that second half. The Steelers came out, like TJ said, made some adjustments and shut down that offense.
Yeah, they really did. And, you know, Lamar Jackson looked like he was going to be an MVP candidate in the first half, the way he threw the ball. He had some times, and again, Bateman dropped one wide open. He had put a move on Levi Wallace. That was an easy touchdown. And then later you saw Aguilar behind the defense again, and those would have been 14 points right there. This whole game would have been different had they just caught the ball.
There's no question. To be fair, he looked good in the second half. The reality was his receivers didn't come down with the ball. You saw that when Zay Flowers he also was thrown up, and Zay Flowers kind of make an adjustment on the ball, and he fell down. So really there's three on top of the two you just talked about. The Ravens gave this game away. The Steelers, but that's what happens in the NFL. They were there. They continued to chop wood. They were there to take advantage of the game in the last few minutes of the game with the turnovers and the sacks. And that is the difference, ladies and gentlemen, is the defense coming through at the end of the game.
Oh, you know you're in a football season where you hear the expression chop wood from Hoke Bro 76. We're chopping wood right now. All right. Alex Highsmith was chopping some wood, chopping some people out there too. He made a big play. Here's what he had to say after the game.
NFL, and it's just awesome being able to go with these guys. And I think we played great today because we were playing with emotion. We played a lot of swag. And, that's just helped us get the win today. I was just, it was huge. You know, just knowing that, you know, we got pinned on that 5-yard line. That's the thing about, you know, defense. No matter where the ball's placed, you know, we got to stand up, and we did that. That was a huge play for him to make. Just be able to come out there with no points is huge for us. So shout out to Joey for that play.
What's it like too when you see that touchdown that Kenny threw to George Pickens late?
It's huge, and then like, you know, as a rusher, you know, when the offense goes up under 2 minutes. And like when they went up and we just saw the clock, it was like, all right, we got to go end it. And so that's just, you know, that's the moments that you look for as a pass rusher. Those 2-minute drives, and so we just really took advantage of that and we were able to get off the field.
Alex, did
yeah, I was feeling good. Just like I said throughout the week, you know, I just wanted to be smart with it. I felt a little tightness, but you know, it felt good out there. So you know, we just got to keep building on this one, and you know, you go into the bye week, you know, strong, and you know, get back healthy, and you get ready for the next game.
Alex, do you feel like you guys needed a win like this, so emotional, as a team like this?
Absolutely. You know, this is, like you said, this is the biggest rivalry in the NFL, and it's, you know, Steelers Ravens, and so just to be able to come out, you know, to get this victory going into the bye week, you know, 3-2 was just huge. So we just know we got to build on it. We weren't perfect. We were far from it. But we still got to continue to build and get better.
Late in the game, did you feel like it felt like to us like you had Lamar questioning some of the things he was doing? What were you guys doing to kind of shake him up?
I think we just did a good job of putting a lot of pressure on him. You know, just sending more guys at him and stuff like that. And so I'm just proud of this team and the way they fought. And so just continuing to get after him was huge for us. You know, because he's such a dangerous quarterback, and so we really had to get after him.
Does it ever surprise you when you guys make game-changing plays, momentum change? I mean, yet in the first, second game, now the safety here, and it kind of swings things a little bit.
Yeah, shout out to Miles for that huge play. You know, that's what he does that. You know, Miles is, you know, the best in the world at what he does. You know, blocking punts, and that was a huge play that he made. Just, you know, like I said, just being able to come out and fight and finish the game was huge for us. So yeah, we just got to keep building off this one.
That's Alex Highsmith after the game with Rich Walsh. And yes, the Killebrew play was a big play, but I'll tell you, there's another one in the first half. We talked about the second half, but Larry Ogunjobi came back. There was a hill run of like 20 yards, and he came from behind, never gave up on the play, and really pounded it away, not unlike a Mike Tyson punch when he was in his prime. The ball got loose, DeMonte KZ. Now that led to 3 points, not 7, but it gave them their first points of the day. And again, it was a defensive play that allowed it all to happen.
A lot of points off turnovers, and you're always told as a defensive lineman when a screen play is thrown, which that was a screen play, as a defensive lineman, turn, retract your steps, and run to the ball. Those receivers catching those screens will never expect you to come from behind and punch to that ball. And sure enough, the receiver did not think Ogunjobi was there. Nice punch, nice recover, and that gave them 3 points and put them on the scoreboard and put them within 1 score, Bob.
Let's go back to the 4th and 2. Right before halftime, John Harbaugh, up in this game, decides to go for it.
Yeah.
Do you think that was the actual call? I sense that you thought it wasn't.
Yeah, I had a feeling when you saw his reaction, they zoomed in on him there at the end of the half after it was over, and he had his helmet, and he was like, blown away, amazed, like, what did we just do? So I'm not sure if it was supposed to be a fake play or they were supposed to let the clock run down. I'm not sure, but it seemed to me like he wasn't on the same page with his offensive coordinator, and that's why they went for it. But we'll find out. I'm sure that'll come through in the weeds here in the days to come.
If they did go for it, is that a slap the Steelers defense at the time? Were you surprised? And if you were a player?
That's the first thing I thought. Yeah. And again, why did they come out in shotgun? If they're going to go for it, line up like they were lining up, running the ball with their card out on the field and pound the football, they would have gotten that first down. At that point in the game, the Steelers could not stop the run game. So that's why I think it's kind of suspicious how it all played out.
All right, Miles Killebrew, we talked about him. Big game-changing play with a block. It almost resulted in a Rodney Williams touchdown. They got a safety, but it changed the momentum of this game. This is what he had to say after the game.
Hey, you know, I'm proud of my guys across the board. I thought we had a fine showing. You know, kudos to the other team. They're always a tough unit, so we had to bring our A game today.
You just keep doing that.
What's that?
You just keep blocking kicks.
Oh, well, you know what? Here's the thing. The thing I love about block punts is it's a team stat. You know, we all get credit. You know, there's a lot of things that have to go right for a block punt. You know, it has to be a great call. It has to be, you know, kudos to Danny. But I will say this. I was praying before the game, and I told God, I said, if I block a punt today, I'm giving you all the credit. So I have to give him credit first. You know, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I know you're probably tired of hearing it, but I think that's why I got it today, to be honest with you. So I'm going to give him all the credit. And after that, it's a great call by Danny. My teammates are excellent in what they do. I know that can depend on them, and we got it done today.
Take us through that play.
Through the block?
Yeah.
Well, it was a scheme, honestly, that we've been practicing for like 3 weeks. You know, Danny drew it up, and we've been working on it, and it just so happened that we were able to call it. All of the things that needed to happen for that to be called, you know, took place.
What
and
was the specific detail there?
I won't bore you with the specifics. I mean, it has to do with field position. It has to do with the, you know, where we are in the game. You know, for Danny to feel comfortable to call it, and he let us go, and so we were able to get it done.
Alex just said you were the best in the NFL doing that. Why do you have such a knack at getting after that?
Well, you know, I practice.
It's the reason we call him Mr.
I practice it. You know, I don't think anything happens on accident. It's something that I actively seek, and I'm just thankful to be on a team that, you know, guys who are, you know, they do their job, and so I'm able to count on them, and so we can get it done.
How many is that for you?
Here with the Steelers, I have 3 with the Steelers. I had 1 with the Lions.
Any in college?
Yeah, I had some in college. Yeah. I mean, listen.
You don't count the deflections. I already told me that.
I just, you know, you know, you have to know where your bread is buttered, and it's something that I hone in on.
I know it might be obvious, but how important are plays like that in a game like this where you need?
All right, that's a guy who's not taking a lot of credit for it. That's the way he is. He's one of those unselfish people that really, I think Mike Tomlin loves to have on his team because he just goes out there and works. Good call by Danny Smith. He had that big block in Buffalo last year. Remember that one? That was a game changer. It seemed like every time he makes a play like that, it is a game changer. All right, let's talk about tackles now, because the Steelers early in this game, again, the same problem that had plagued them the last couple of weeks was runners were getting into the second level before you saw defensive linemen get involved in tackles. And today, kind of the same stuff, especially early, because Cole Holcomb was your leading tackler there, along with Minkah Fitzpatrick and Landon Roberts. These are all linebackers and safety guys. You don't see many defensive linemen with tackles on there. How much of a concern is that?
Well, what I do see is our 3 you have 2 starting linebackers, but really your 3 guys that roll in there. They're in the 3 of the top 4. You don't always want to see Minka there, but Minka comes down in the box. What concerns me is their inability, Bob, in this first quarter, our first half, to make tackles after
they missed
catch.
a lot.
Missed a lot of tackles and guys running free on the back end of our defense. That really has me concerned. But if you look at the tackles, what I see is 3 linebackers that are in the top 4 tacklers. That wasn't like that the first 4 weeks of the season. You saw a lot of linebackers with 2 or 3 tackles. Here, much better.
Well, you can argue about who made the biggest play of the game. No question, Joey Porter Jr. had one of them because it looked like a fumble by Gunnar Olszewski is going to lead to a touchdown, but yet it was Joey Porter Jr. who was on blanket coverage, and you wonder why he didn't get there a little earlier. He made the interception in the end zone, and that led to a game-winning touchdown the other way. And this is number 24 after the game.
Definitely. I mean, the defense was rolling for the whole second half of the game, so the fact that I made that little game stop right there, it was perfect. It was a nice way to go out. Yeah, you know, like I always say, I'm the rookie out there against Odell Beckham on the 3rd down, so I already kind of had that in the back of my mind. They're going to try me on this play.
What were your emotions like when you made that catch?
Man, just excited, you know, just happy to be able to make a play for this team in a crucial moment of the game. And I just really put myself in that Steelers-Baltimore rivalry, so I'm happy.
What did Gunnar say to you after the game? After the play, when you came off the field, he hugged you.
And he said he got me a little gift, so I'm waiting for that little gift. And, you know, he just said he got my back, and I told him I always got his.
What does it mean to you to be able to make a play like that in a rivalry such as intense as this one?
Oh, man, it means everything. You know, earlier this week we was talking about this is a regular season game, but it's not like a regular season. When we get in that stadium, it's going to be a chippy, close game, and I just made a great play at a great time.
Did you make a change at halftime, Joey, and told you? What did they tell you?
They just told me they were going to get me a little bit more serious in the game because I wasn't really playing a lot the first half. I think I got about like 4 snaps, so they just wanted to keep me warm, keep me in tune to the game.
Did you start in the base, though, to start the second half?
Yeah, I did.
Did you feel like the payout from all the press work that you've done to improve there in a tough spot like that when to get that interception?
Definitely. You know, I've been working on that since I've been with the Steelers, and, you know, it's never always great, but I feel like I'm at a spot right now where it's getting good right now and just keep working. Yep.
I got a text not too long ago from someone over there who told me that Joey Porter Sr. was almost in tears. He was down in the tunnel waiting for his son to come back.
I bet.
What a great father-son.
Well, I just watched him right there, and he sounds like his dad. Some of the things he's saying, he looks like his dad when he talks, his mannerisms. It's fun. I feel like I'm looking at my former teammate and friend. But I would be the same way. What a great moment for Joey Jr. and for Joey Porter Sr. To have this happen, but really for the Steelers, because that, Bob, that was a crucial moment. You talk about maybe the biggest moment, probably the biggest moment in this game, because that was going to go at least a full touchdown with the Steelers not being able to move the ball or to go out of reach. Right. So this was a huge play for the Steelers down there where it looked dire.
We're going to talk to Kenny Pickett coming up next. He's at the podium. We'll get to those comments when we come back. You're watching your neighborhood Ford store, Steelers Extra Point, and they get an extra point for sure, extra credit for this one because it's a division game. They're now 2-0 in their division. They have the top spot in the AFC North, winning today 17-10. We're back in a flash.
Welcome back to the neighborhood Ford store, Steelers Extra Point.
All right, we're back and taking a look at the standings. These are updated, of course, and the Steelers and Ravens tied, but the Steelers have beaten them head on. That means they're in the top spot. The Browns 2-2. Their record not so good, and the Bengals is worse. Bengals have Arizona in a game that's going on right now, so that's a big game for them after they completely got smothered last week in a game I didn't see coming when they lost to Tennessee. Anyway, the bottom line is the Steelers right now have a bye. They have a chance to kind of regroup. Jaylen Warren's a guy who really keeps making plays, and I don't know how they can't feed him the ball more based on his production, not just in the run game, but especially in the pass game. He had some big ones today. He spoke after the game. Let's hear from number 30.
I mean, I did what I could, what they asked me to, and that's all I focused on.
Are you satisfied with what you get to do as far as the plays and the runs?
Oh yeah, I mean, as long as we're winning, I don't really care. I mean, obviously I care about playing, but whatever it looks like, whatever it takes to win, I'm with that plan.
Jaylen, you feel like you give this offense a spark out there?
My teammates give me a spark, so I feed off of them, they feed off of me.
Why do you think it took a little bit of time? I mean, you guys, the offense looked totally different in the fourth quarter. Why did it take so long to get going, maybe?
I don't know. We were doing us. We were playing our game, and I'm glad we see.
What made you hurdle that day?
Hurdle? just jumped. I mean, I seen it was one-on-one. It was really just him to beat, and it was one of those situations where you got to do whatever it takes to beat him. So.
Did you ever do that before?
Yeah.
Is that instinct? Is that
Instinct 100%. I didn't think I was, I didn't go around the corner. I'm like, I'm going to hurdle him,
Pretty good hurdle, though. I mean, he made him completely miss. If you look at his numbers on the day, Jalen Warren, 40 yards on 9 carries, certainly did provide the spark. And in the receiving game, even more so, 39 yards. In fact, it was after they got the safety to make it 10-5. They were faced with Najee Harris had a -1 yard carry. Then he was on the receiving end of a 2-yard catch, and it set up a 3rd and 8. And Pickett then goes to Warren. He got 12 yards there, and then it was the next play where he hurdled a guy, and I thought that was going to get called back by penalty. It wasn't. 16 more yards. 2 plays back-to-back. They go to 1st and goal, and then he finally got stopped. But I thought he was kind of exhausted at that point.
He was. And there was penetration at the line of scrimmage. And if you look at the way this offensive line blocks, we're getting beat at the line of scrimmage. There's no question about it. But he fits the kind of offensive line we have right now. If they're not getting movement like you see the Ravens get against the Steelers defensive line, it's better for Warren to be in the game because he's easier to get quick to speed and up to full speed quicker than Najee Harris.
Yeah, he certainly did. If you look at the numbers, he averaged 4.4. Najee had 14 carries for 37 yards. That's an average of 2.6. But the offensive line had a lot to do with that. George Pickens had a big day, targeted 10 times, big catch to win it. Let's go inside the locker room right now.
Confidence in you and the connection you guys had that you can connect in a big way like that after a tough game.
I probably really say more resiliency than anything. The resiliency of the team right then, that last hour was pretty incredible.
George, there's a lot of first and second year guys on your offense. To win in a resilient way like that, how big is that for your growth, not just individually but also collectively?
Collectively, it's huge. Going on a bye week for sure. Guys in good spirits, getting back with their families and then coming back to work for sure. So the resiliency from, like I said, from the game we just played was pretty incredible.
George, what kind of confidence does it give you guys in Kenny to see the way that he was able to lead a game-winning drive there at the end?
I'll probably say it gives the defense a lot of confidence, too. When you play intangibles, a defense can feed off an offense and an offense can feed off a defense. It's just, remarkable. And I feel like right then the defense was feeding off us and we was feeding off them.
George, which one felt better, the Raiders touchdown last year or this one today?
It was cold as hell, the Raiders game, so the feeling wasn't as good, but we won. But I'll probably say this one for sure.
The first block that you threw on Jalen's run, they threw a flag on that, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I was looking like, I hope that's not on me because I just dominated the guy. I can't argue with that, but I was just hoping that wasn't on me.
You said they thought it was a face mask on him. Did they initially say it was on you?
No, they was just saying, they was initially saying it was holding, and then they scratched the call.
Holding?
Yeah.
George, as tough as it's been for the offense the first month, how have you been able to sort of not let whatever your frustrations might be get the best of you, and is that a sign of maybe growth individually and as a group?
I'll probably just say me competing because really, to be honest, my energy is always really the same because the defense will probably get out there and make a play and now I'm back happy. You see what I mean? So I'll probably just say my emotion to fight and my emotion for the game, that's all that really is.
George, you and Joey Porter Jr. had your battles throughout training camp, and I know you two had the friendly competition, but what was it like to see him get his first career interception in that fashion?
I didn't even know. I swear to God, I didn't even know he got an interception today. I know TJ's fumble, and I was all over the place, bro. But I didn't even know. But congratulations to him for sure.
George, what are you thinking when you see Marlon Humphrey across from you in the game on the line?
I kind of I don't know about other receivers around the league, but him going to my high school, him being from Alabama, it's more like I'll probably say, I don't want to say a practice field, but it's a guy that I know personally, so it's a little different.
Was he impressed there?
Yeah.
George, 2 of the last 3 plays, I think you went 41 and 21. They singled up on you both times. You surprised at what they do that? Because teams over the past couple of weeks haven't done that to you.
Yeah. I'm always a little bit surprised when there's just a one-on-one matchup, no safety over top, with the long speed I have, and then also the back shoulder game. So if they're not doubling me, I'm a little surprised for sure.
Kenny mentioned staying together this weekend today through any distractions, whether it's media related or fan related. Is that tough at all for you guys to do as an offense at times?
Not really. I am not gonna lie to you. Within the building, we kind of be connected as a team. Each player on the team we really connected with very, very close. So the media and all the other stuff is kind of hard to. We see it, but it's kind of hard to break up the group.
there was a lot of calls for you guys to be more physical in this game with the Ravens. How did you feel your team as a whole, offense and defense, answered that call?
Oh, I feel like that was great, especially at the end right there. I feel like, you know, coming in the game, you know, the game kind of it got to mold itself, so everything is not going to just jump off the board immediately. But at the end right there, the defense standing up and then us, you know, finishing the drive.
How do you think a win like this can spur the offense going forward?
It can spring it a lot. Like I said, resiliency is probably the biggest component of the team that'll probably get us through because it's the NFL. It's not going to be, you know, 30-0 or it's like college. It's going to be a close game almost every week. So I'll probably say resiliency is the most important thing.
George, with Deontay out, Pat out, and then Calvin goes out for a little bit, does that even put more focus on yourself? Not pressure, but to be the guy?
Not really. I always was focused, but pressure-wise, nah. Because in college, me at the wide receiver position, it was only me, really. So I kind of always felt that, oh, George, we need you to make a play, or George, we need you here. That's always just how my life been.
You get a chance to talk to Darnell or Broderick at all about, you know, for Broderick first start for both of them, first Steelers, Ravens?
Yeah. I talked to them a lot, just in staying calm. You know, when you're a rookie, everything is everywhere. Like I said, it's hard to, you know, get the plays in and then also know the guy you're blocking. So just them being everywhere, I just try to keep them calm.
Anybody else? All right, thanks.
Appreciate you, bro. Kenny Pickett said he was going to target him if he saw him in one-on-one coverage. You saw a lot of that today, and you see the results here. Targeted 10 times, 6 catches, 130 yards. That's 21 average. And long, of course, the 41-yarder. Marlon Humphrey was there, but he couldn't keep up with him. And that was the one that won the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But, Chris, I cannot believe he didn't know Joey Porter Jr. had an interception.
He talked about the sack fumble, but really the interception was the biggest play of the game, in my opinion. So for him to not know that kept him in the game, that's really surprising to me. But you look at George Pickens, Bob. In my mind, Kenny Pickett, if he would sit in the pocket and he would drive the ball to George Pickens every time that he's covered by one guy, I'd go it to him. I'd throw it to him. I'd let him go get the ball. He makes combat catches look easy.
He hadn't done that up until today, though. There were a lot, if you look at some of the advanced stats, he had basically had trouble when there's coverage. But again, the more you do it, I think the more results will come. And I think Kenny Pickett has to do it. But you're right. It starts with Kenny Pickett stepping up in the pocket and not vacating it. Too many times in the first half today, he was vacating that pocket.
And even second half, but when he stood in the pocket and he let plays develop and drive the ball, he has success. He needs to slow down, and I hope this bye will give him an opportunity to catch his breath, Bob. Watch the film, think through things. He and Matt Canada can get together and have a good second half of the season because he really does have an arm. He has a good rapport with the receivers. It's a matter of him just slowing his mind down.
We're talking about this. That was his celebratory. He just completely went backwards. That's a dangerous play. When I saw that, I said, you know, you can get a concussion on a play like that, too.
How about a couple games ago when he jumped backwards and did this funky jump to try to get a block? I mean, he's just a funny guy, goofy guy out there. It's like a kid playing football.
But I don't know. If I'm Mike Tomlin, I'm saying, well, you don't have to go that far on these kind of celebrations. Patrick Peterson in the afterwards in the locker room. Let's go there now live.
I was warned about these Pittsburgh-Baltimore Ravens game and didn't sell anything short at all. You know, it was a defensive game. We had to make stops when we needed. And play of the game, though, Joey Porter. You know, 3-yard line, 3rd and goal. We needed a play to keep ourselves, at least keep the game in striking distance. And offense went down. I believe we got a field goal out of that drive, if I'm not mistaken. Or did we go scoring?
That was the touchdown.
Okay, so we went down to scoring to take the lead, and the rest is history. So definitely the play of the game, but this game was full of emotions from the first quarter to the last second of the game.
We talk about it so much in the offseason. You know, you coming here, obviously the mentorship role that you have with Joey. What's it like for you to see him make a play like that in such a crucial moment?
Man, we all know that Joey, you know, his opportunity was going to come, and at this time right now, he's in the game at those weighted downs, those weighted situations. So he understands when he gets in the game, you know, all eyes is on him, and this down is very, very important. And he's just been sticking to the strip each and every week until his number got called here today. He got a little bit more playing time today, getting his feet a little bit more settled a little bit as the season goes on. But extremely proud of him, the way he just continued to hang in there, the way he always asking questions, wanting to be in the right position to find a way to help this team win downs like that when his number is called.
Did you think they were going to come after him there? Did you guys expect that?
For sure, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
You know, you have to expect that once a veteran quarterback like Lamar sees a young corner come back into the game with his veteran receiver. But like we tell Joey all the time, man, he's so tall and long on the outside as a corner. It's going to be hard for teams to complete those type of passes on, especially down in the red zone like that. So that's why we got him. That's why we drafted him. And everything is finally starting to come together for him. I can just tell the game is starting to slow down for him.
There's always like one play that kind of turns games, especially in this little rivalry. And Alex said, you know, Miles is the best at blocking kicks and punts. I mean, did you guys feel the energy after that? And what could you say about that particular play?
Yeah, we honestly that play is what turned the momentum. We started to slowly capture the momentum, but after we blocked that punt, it was like it completely came back over to our side, and we went back out on defense after the safety. Offense went down and got the 3 points. Then we came back out and got the stop. Joey interception because they was driving a little bit. Then we went back down and scored, and Mr. Watt closed the game out for us.
All right, that's Patrick Peterson, and a logical question now is, does Joey Porter Jr. move into the starting defensive backfield ahead of one of those guys, whether it's Patrick Peterson or Levi Wallace? Because quite frankly, when he's in there, he does make things happen. I thought those two guys had a bad first half today collectively.
There's no question. In the last couple of games, they've really struggled to keep these receivers under wraps. And in this game, it seemed like they were always one step behind the Ravens receivers. And Joey Porter Jr., since the start of the season, he's come in and he's represented himself well, made some big plays in closing moments of the game. And so you got to think that coming out of this bye week that Joey's going to play a bigger role in this defense, and those other two guys will roll in there however they do that. But he goes in there and just makes plays, Bob. And when you have a young guy who can run around, probably faster than both of those guys at the point in their career, you've got to find a role for him that's more prominent to help this defense play much better.
Right, just like Broderick Jones got a start today because of injury, but he did, I think, okay, especially in the run game.
Much better than last week.
Right, much better, and that's what it'll do. As far as Joey Porter Jr. and the Steelers defense, next up after the bye is a trip to the Rams, and they have not only Cooper Kupp, who's expected to be back today, but also Puka Nacua, who's one of the best young rookies in the game, a fifth-round pick who has 500 yards in his first 4 games. No one's ever done that, so they're going to be challenged in that.
Out of where?
Where?
BYU.
I'm sorry, is that a school?
BYU, yeah, Puka Nacua.
I know.
Out of BYU.
Puka Nacua. Out of BYU. All right, that's their next challenge. Anyway, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got Kenny Pickett is going to take the microphone. You can hear what he has to say, and then we'll turn it over to you to make the call. Call us on a special edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Steelers win 17-10. Penguins play on Tuesday. I'm always thinking about that, too. We're back after this.
Welcome back to the Neighborhood Ford Store Steelers Extra Point.
All right, here are your quarterback comparison numbers. And Chris, in the first half, it did not look like it was going to be this way at the end because Lamar Jackson was throwing some dimes in there that were dropped. It cost him. They had 7 drops officially, so that would have been 29 or 30. Anyway, Kenny Pickett got an opportunity in the second half and stood up in bigger plays.
He really did and made some big throws down the field, and that was the difference in the game. When they drove that ball down, that 41-yard touchdown throw and catch from Pickett to Pickens really made this thing so the Steelers could win this game. But what happened was a struggling Pickett in the first half turned to a struggling Jackson in the second half.
No question. Kenny Pickett spoke earlier at the podium. Let's hear what he had to say.
The touchdown play, is that where you're going the whole time? What happened?
Yeah, they went 0. We were preparing all week, and there's kind of bigger moments that they were going to go 0. Got the protection right. Gave George his route, and he went up there and won. Big time player. Make big time plays in those moments, and that's what we got in 14.
Kenny, how do you describe the emotions of this win?
Highest of highs and the lowest of lows in this game. It's unreal to win like that at home. In front of our fans. Obviously, it was up and down early, but we hung in there. We stuck with it, found a way to win. That's all that matters. So really proud of every guy in that locker room.
Kenny, Joey gets that pick. What was the conversation in the huddle after that?
Go score. Go finish the game. That was my mindset. Obviously, there's a lot going on, but guys just focus and execute each play and move down the field and get in the end zone.
Kenny, those plays takeaways by the defense, block punts. What does that do for an offense momentum-wise when you guys take a few?
It's huge. It's huge. I can't say enough about our defense, and then our special teams also stepped up today. And shout out to Miles, a guy who dedicates, to his craft. I watch him work every day. I watch him, work punt blocks all the time. He's constantly doing it. He's obsessed with it. So there's no surprise that he's the guy that steps up in those moments when we needed it. And huge appreciation for Miles.
How big of a spark was Jalen for you in the second half, especially?
Massive. Love Jay, plays unbelievably hard. Incredibly talented player. Want to get him the ball in space as much as we can, whether it's the running game or the pass game. I feel like he does, great things in both areas. Obviously came in together as rookies and in our second year here, but love Jay and really proud of the way he played.
When the game ended, is that something that can get you individually and the group collectively going? Is that a huge boost?
I think it pushes you that way. Obviously there's ups and downs in the season. There's ups and downs in games, but we found a way to win down the stretch, and I think that's all that matters. It's nowhere near as good as it needs to be. Speaking from an offensive standpoint, we understand that. All the players do. All the coaches do. We're working tirelessly at it to get better and put more points on the board. But at the end of the day, we went down there and we won the end of the game. And got the W. Going into this bye week, get healthy, have some guys banged up, so it'll be good to try and get back to full strength. Moving on from the bye week.
What was the difference for you in the fourth quarter? It looked like you were maybe more accurate on your throws and maybe more confident in those decisions.
I don't think anything really changed, to be honest. I think we were mixing it up, had the run and pass game working. I feel like we continue to work on that and do more of it. I got to be more accurate and put balls on guys and then they'd run after the catch. So there's always areas to improve, but it was good that we came together as a unit there and executed at a high level to win the game.
How important was it that even when things weren't going well and things got frustrated, that nobody got outside of themselves and you didn't make that kind of big mistake that allowed you to stay close in the game?
Right. I think we stayed together, and I was preaching that all week. You get to this level, there's so many outside factors that try to get into a team and try to pull a team apart, whether it's media related, fan related, whatever it may be. You have to stay together in football. It's the ultimate team game. Offense, defense, special teams, 11 guys on the field working together, pushing each other, and playing their hearts out to go win the game. And that's what we did. So incredibly proud of our team here.
What does it say about the feet?
All right, Kenny Pickett after the game, and they came back and won a game that at halftime, I don't think many, even after the third quarter, not many people thought they would. No style points in the NFL. You just get wins, as ugly as they may be, and this would be one of them. But the Ravens were actually uglier.
They were uglier, and the Steelers took advantage of it at every stop, right? Every takeaway turned into points for the Steelers. And Kenny there, what a difference a week makes, Bob, because you look at last week when that locker room, it was like a morgue. And even down this week when I was down the south side, went to practice, it was quiet. It was not, they were not happy campers. Now you're hearing that locker room, a lot of energy. You're hearing Kenny Pickett talk more positive and upbeat. They're in first place in this division right now, going into the bye week.
Yep, 5 weeks in, first place and a bye week. And they're going to need it because they want to get some guys back like Deontay Johnson and others, help Cam Hayward along the way. But let's take a look at the Ford Road Ahead, brought to you by your neighborhood Ford store. Bye week coming up, and then the 22nd, not an easy trip to L.A. to take on the Rams. As I mentioned, the pride of BYU will be there, along with Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford. They're actually better than people I thought they would be. That's a 4 o'clock game. Then it is the Jags, a 1 o'clock game. They beat the Bills today over in London. And then the Titans. And Tennessee's a weird team. They were able to go and dominate Cincinnati, but they were dominated by Cleveland. So that's an 8:15 game on November the 2nd. What do you think about those 3 games?
Those are all going to be tough games. On the road to LA, it's always tough going out west. The Steelers' record isn't the best in that situation. The Jaguars, again, you talk about what kind of team you're going to get with the Jaguars. You're going to get the one that beat the Bills today, or one a couple weeks ago that lost to a team that they should have beat handily. So in this game, then you got the Titans who run the football, and the Steelers, they struggle at times. If they're not focused on that run game, they really struggle to stop it. So they're going to have to be focused on it and make sure that Tannehill doesn't beat them with the deep throw here or there.
And that is a short week, by the way. They play Jacksonville, and 4 days later, it's Tennessee on a Thursday night. So that'll wrap it up for us. And we have more coming. We want your phone calls at 412-928. That's not right. 575-2600. Call us there. It's a special edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. 17-10, your final score. The Steelers jumped to 3-2 at the bye week. Tied with the Ravens, but they owe the tiebreaker since they won the head-to-head matchup. We're going to take a break, come back with more of your phone calls next. So get on the line, call us at 575-2600 right here on special Steeler coverage as we continue on KDKA+.